Good afternoon, everyone. We are live today again from Sakra World Hospital. Today with us we have Dr. Anand Mamdapur, Senior Consultant and Head Critical Care Medicine. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Today we're going to talk about two very important and the most important questions everybody has in mind is about vaccination for children and the antibody cocktail therapy. Sir.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Facebook live session again. Today we will discuss about the vaccination in children. I am sure every parent right now is deeply worried about the safety, efficacy, availability of the vaccine for kids.
Yes.
The word parents have been badly affected psychologically in this deadly pandemic wave of COVID-19. If you take the first wave, young adults witness the suffering and loss of parents. Second wave, elderly parents witness the suffering and loss of young children. Now the young parents are worried about the young kids. So it is very, very important that we allay the anxiety of young parents here with a particular focus on vaccination for children. Because in our country, children less than 18 years, they constitute 40% of the population. And they are a major target population who are right now unvaccinated. We are talking about the third wave, possible third wave. Third wave is likely to affect the children. That is a great concern for every parent right now. Having said that, third wave is not equivalent to children. Third wave, if at all it happens, likely to happen of course, it is going to affect the unvaccinated population of our country. Whether it is a kid or it is an unvaccinated adults in the 18 to 45 age category. Because by the time we will be hit with a third wave, possibly during October to December, there will be still good chunk of the population of adults between 18 to 45 years who will still be vaccinated, who will still be unvaccinated. I'll be very happy if they are vaccinated by then, but for all practical purposes, it is very, very difficult to vaccinate such a huge population in a short period of time. So, third wave is equivalent to unvaccinated target population. Need not necessarily children. Though, because the children constitute 40% of the population and they are extremely vulnerable because they did not get any vaccination till now. And if something is going to protect you from the third wave, it is a vaccine, vaccine and vaccine, nothing else. So, it is very, very important. In this situation, there are a couple of good things as well, because till now, though the COVID-19 pandemic has devastated the mankind, it has been kind on kids. Till now, children have had very minor COVID-19 disease illness. Very, very few had a major complication, very few hospitalization. Having said that, we are already preparing, gearing up ourselves. The government is gearing, the private organizations are gearing, the private healthcare is gearing, everybody is gearing up for a possible third wave which is likely to affect the children. But I have a personal feeling that the third wave will be also be of unvaccinated adult population, not necessarily kids. Okay, so in this context, it's very important that we take care of our kids. Kids are also important from two angles. One is we need to vaccinate them with respect to prevention of the disease. Second thing is the kids, though they have a very mild disease, as far as spreading the COVID-19 disease is considered, they are as strong as adults. Okay, the kids can be super spreaders. So it is also important in that angle. When adult population is badly affected in the second wave of the pandemic, many of the kids also have some amount of exposure. So they might have had a subclinical disease, subclinical infection, and they might have also developed some antibodies. So there is no compelling evidence to say that the third wave is going to be devastating for children. It is less likely because children will probably have a mild disease if at all they are going to get. Having said that, that is not an excuse for escape because the enemy is invisible. So we have to get vaccination for kids.
That's why it is so important for the kids to get vaccinated.
Absolutely.
So what are the vaccines available to vaccinate the kids?
Right now in our country, one vaccine is undergoing a trial, phase 2, phase 3 trial, what we call, for kids between 2 to 18 years of age. In the Western world, particularly US, few European countries, one vaccine is already in use, one vaccine is likely to get in use, one vaccine already applied for the license. So they are already vaccinating kids between the age of 12 to 15 years. And with respect to two vaccines, we need to get 2 doses at a gap of around 21 days. One vaccine can be given as a single shot. Okay, so 3 vaccines right now are probably going to get available in the Western world. 2 are already in use, and one vaccine in India is already undergoing clinical trial. Hopefully, with a time frame of another couple of months, maybe 2 to 3 months, we should be able to get vaccination for our children also.
Okay. And so, who all will be eligible? What is the eligibility criteria?
The best eligibility is kid. Okay. So, if the vaccine quantity is sufficient to vaccinate the entire kid population, children population less than 18 years, that is 40% of the population, though it is a big number, if it is possible to vaccinate each and every kid, that is the best scenario. In the worst scenario, or at least to begin with, because we all know the scarcity of the vaccine availability is a big problem right now. In this context, at least to begin with, high-risk children, like children born with some birth defects of the lung or heart or brain, they have some hemoglobin-related disorders like what you call as thalassemia or sickle cell. So any child which is born with some abnormality, okay, they are the kids who are at a high risk of developing this disease. So they should be the first priority. After that, almost each and every kid should be eligible to take this vaccination.
Okay. So is the vaccine what we use for adults is the same for the kids as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
It's the same vaccine which is used for adults, and the same vaccine for kids also.
Okay.
As of right now, as per the present evidence and present literature, the same dose as well. Okay.
Okay.
In due course of time, whether the evidence changes, we do not know. But at this point of time, the same vaccine which is used for adult is also for kids.
So you said doses will be same. The time interval will also be same.
For 2 vaccines, the time interval is 21 days for kids.
Okay.
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 For one vaccine, it is a single shot. It's only 1 dose vaccine.
Okay.
Okay. The time interval is fixed. It is 21 days between 2 vaccines.
Okay.
Now, with the present study going in our country, we need to see at the end of the result, at the end of this study, what is the evidence we are getting, what is the efficacy, safety of this vaccine, the dosing interval, everything we have to see. But for all practical purposes, at this point of time, it is 2 doses at 21 days interval.
Okay. So, are there any side effects to these vaccines?
By and large, these vaccinations are very safe. Okay, because safety in any vaccination, in any vaccine for that matter, if you consider, the safety is the most important thing. Okay, these vaccines are by and large very safe. Just like in adults, they will also have some minor reaction like injection site pain, swelling, redness, and little bit of fever, chills, some myalgia, some headache. So usually settles down in 2 to 3 days. There is no need for concern or worry. And usually settles, suppose if they develop fever also, usually settles with paracetamol.
Okay.
So by and large, the side effects are mild or minimal, just like any other vaccine.
Okay. So any particular mention about the blood clot as it was a possible side effect in adults?
That's a very important question. We did see good number of blood clots in the Western world, though in our country the reporting probably is not that robust in that context. But overall, it has happened, but the incidence is very less.
Okay.
In addition to vaccine itself, we are also seeing a lot of blood clot formation in different organs of our body in COVID disease also, not necessarily vaccination. So, in addition to vaccine, in addition to the disease, there is an aging process of the blood vessels in our body that is very crucial in the formation of these blood clots.
Okay.
Fortunately, the kids are completely prevented from this disease process.
Oh.
So, even though we do not have any robust evidence at this point of time, the most likely scenario is kids may not develop these blood clot related side effects which have happened in adults.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay. So, what is the duration of protection? How long it will protect the children?
Usually, these vaccines give protection for about 6 to 9 months. Usually. So, as we start using it, as we develop more and more evidence, we'll come to know the actual time frame. But for all practical purposes, around 6 to 9 months is a good time that these vaccines give some protection.
Okay. So regarding the influenza vaccine and compared to the COVID-19 vaccine, the protection is same against influenza also gives the protection against COVID-19?
That's a very important question you have raised. Many parents have this question in their mind that can I give influenza vaccine and does it protect my kid from COVID-19 disease? As per the WHO guideline, the clear answer is no.
Okay.
Influenza vaccine is different, it is separate entity. COVID vaccine is different and separate entity. Though these two viruses share some common clinical features, some common route of entry. For example, both of them enter through the nasal passage, droplets infection, both of them affect the lung. However, influenza spreads very fast from one person to another. COVID doesn't spread so fast as compared to influenza.
Okay.
Even before the disease starts, the influenza can spread 4 to 5 days ahead. Unlike the COVID, we spread just 1 or 2 days before the onset of disease. Okay. The rapidity with which influenza spreads is fast as compared to COVID. But the death rate with COVID is high as compared to influenza. Okay. So both the two are different entities. Do not club them together and do not get confused. Having said that, the likely third wave, which is probably going to happen in October to December, that is the same time the influenza also has an annual season. So there is a clash of the timings of both of them. So you need to get your kid vaccinated with influenza. It is better to get affected with only one virus rather than two. Best scenario, no from the both viruses, but influenza, if you take a regular annual influenza shot, then this timing will probably clash with the COVID third wave. In that situation, you are protected from influenza certainly. Second thing is that whenever a COVID affects a normal person versus a person is already having some disease, the implications will be more severe in a person who is having some more disease already. Suppose you do not take influenza and you develop influenza, over and above that you develop COVID, then the situations can be more problematic. So in that context, till we get more evidence, as of right now, while we speak, do not believe that influenza vaccine is going to give protection against COVID. No. Both are separate entities, but it is very important. See, annual influenza is recommended for all the kids. Okay. Some people follow, some people do not. But at this point of time, in this year, at least 2021, every kid should get annual influenza shot unless there is a major contraindication. So you have to get that shot. Whether that gives protection from the COVID, as of right now, the answer is no. But you should get that vaccine to protect yourself from influenza.
Right. So, sir, as you said, it can clash that time. So, both the vaccines or any vaccine can be, clubbed together.
Yes.
Along with the COVID vaccine.
Right. There are two varieties of vaccines which are available for pediatric population for immunization. One is a killed vaccine, second is a live vaccine. For all practical purposes, my urge to the community is do not interrupt your scheduled immunization schedule for your kid because of COVID-19 vaccination. Okay. All the killed vaccines can be simultaneously given along with COVID-19 vaccine also. Suppose you had a vaccine on the first week and second week suddenly you get a slot that yes, I can get a COVID vaccine right now. Can I take this vaccine? Most probably yes. Okay. So before taking the COVID vaccine, if you had a parallel vaccination as per your routine immunization schedule, do consult your physician or a pediatrician and take the vaccine. If there are killed vaccines along with the COVID, both can be taken on the same day simultaneously as well. Okay. No need to interrupt one for the other. But make sure that my urge to the community is do not reschedule, prepone, postpone, or cancel your important routine immunization schedule for the COVID-19.
Okay.
Take both of them.
Both of them.
Okay.
So, children, do we have the nasal vaccinations?
Nasal vaccination is under trial. As of right now, it is not yet for use, but probably it is in the pipeline because one, with respect to testing as well as vaccination in kids will be little challenging.
Yes.
It's very challenging.
Yes.
It's quite painful for kids also.
Yes.
So nasal vaccine is relatively easy, and that being the portal of entry of the virus, so that's also more effective. So in that scenario, it is in the pipeline. So we need to wait for some more time before it actually comes into clinical practice.
Okay. So related to this topic, we have got a question from audience. Is it advised to give full shot for a 4-year-old who has just recovered from COVID-19 infection?
Yes, as per the guidelines which are right now available for adults, so you should get the vaccination even if you have recovered from the COVID-19 disease.
Okay.
Whether you are a kid, whether you are adult, you have to take this vaccine. Okay. The guidelines with respect to the time frame is changing. So before you go for the vaccination, just consult your physician. Initially the time frame was 2 weeks. Now the time frame has been increased to 3 months. Okay, with respect to one particular virus, one particular vaccine. So in that context, it's important that you should take the vaccine even though you had COVID-19 disease. As per the latest Government of India guideline, the waiting time is 3 months.
3 months.
But you should take the vaccine.
But yes. Sir, moving on to our next topic of discussion today is about antibody cocktail therapy.
Right.
So, sir, what is this therapy all about?
Right. This antibody cocktail means there is a combination of two medications in this. Okay, it is two antibodies, what we call as monoclonal antibodies. Okay, this antibody got its name and frame when it was used for the past President Donald Trump, and it was quite successful, and he recovered from the disease. Basically, whenever any virus or a bacteria infects our body, we develop two types of immunity. One is once the virus enters, our defense mechanism, our immune system produces some antibodies and it tries to fight and kill the virus. For it to happen, it takes some time, minimum 2 weeks. These antibodies are the ready-made laboratory prepared antibodies. Okay. So once you give this, it's already ready-made. So it is going to directly affect the virus. It tries to prevent the virus entering our cells and try to prevent the disease progression from mild to severe disease.
Okay.
So these are ready-made laboratory-made antibodies which are in use in the US, many of European countries, Singapore, some Middle East countries as well. So we are also getting it right now. It is available in India as well right now. So it is very effective at this point of time.
And that's how it acts basically.
Yes, it's basically a ready-made antibody. It's not something new to the science. It is already there in the clinical practice. What you call as passive immunization. So it's all ready-made immunization. See, whenever any person gets a sudden infection, okay, we need something immediately to control it. It should not progress from the mild disease to severe disease, or the patient should not develop a disease at all. So that is the primary idea of behind, giving this. It's called passive immunization. Passive means ready-made. You are just ordering something which is ready-made. There is no need for you to wait for your immune system to produce some antibodies. Then these antibodies become effective. Okay, it's already there in the clinical practice, and it's not something really new. But as far as COVID is concerned, it is something really new and something really good.
Okay. And how to use it, sir?
Yes, that's very important. This antibody cocktail therapy, it is not for every patient of COVID-19 disease. Okay, it is not just a blanket therapy that you have having a COVID disease and you need this. It is only for high risk category of people who are at a high risk of developing a severe disease. For example, people above the age of 65 years, people are having an existing kidney disease, heart disease, lung disease, people are having marked obesity, diabetes, people who are immunocompromised, means their defense mechanism is compromised, cancer patients, people on steroid therapy. All these people are the high risk people in whom it is very important that we halt the disease at that particular stage and does not prevent and does not allow it to go from that disease that mild disease to severe disease. So it is very, very important at that particular point of time. And it is to be used only for people who do not require oxygen. It is not for people who are admitted in the hospital. It is not for people who are admitted in the hospital and they require some form of oxygen therapy, some form of ventilator therapy. No, it is not for them. It is only for people as an outpatient. As an outpatient doesn't mean that we have to take it at home. We have to come to the hospital, that I'll explain. But it is not for people who require oxygen. It is for people who are at a very high risk of developing a disease from mild to severe. Only in those people right now the evidence is there. Okay. Having said that, I would like to highlight one more point about this. Right now we are just getting it in our country in the last 2 to 3 weeks only. It is pretty much available in our hospital as well. So, if you consider the high risk category of people and if you parallelly weigh with the second wave of COVID has hit us badly, very young and healthy people. Whether young healthy people who do not belong to this high risk category of people, whether they should also get this vaccine, this antibody, that question we need to answer. Okay. As of right now, the present evidence is only for high risk people, and for people who are completely fit and who are having severe symptoms, whether we should use for them also, that only with the progress, time and some more evidence will tell us. But as of right now, it's only for, because some people do have the theory wherein in the second wave it has hit badly the young, healthy adult population. The first wave, yes, it has certainly hit the aged population and people in high risk. But in the second wave, it has, never respected that high risk. It has equally affected the low risk or zero risk people also. In this context, whether that can be extrapolated to this population also, that for this time and some more evidence is answered. But right now, it's a wonderful drug for people who are at a high risk of developing the mild to severe disease.
Okay, so what about kids? Can it be given to kids?
It can be given to children above the age of 12 years and weight of more than 40 kg. Below 12 years and below 40 kg, it cannot be given.
Okay.
It's only for them.
Okay. And so what are the benefits of this and what are the risk factors associated with this?
The benefits, it has shown in the study that it will give relative risk reduction of 70% of going from mild to severe disease and hospitalization. Okay. So if 10 people, COVID-19 positive people are used versus against no use, then 7 people will be protected going from mild to severe disease and preventing the hospitalization. Okay. And this needs to be taken in a hospital setting.
Okay.
That does not mean to say you have to come to a big hospital like.
It just need
one small emergency room or small daycare center. You need to come to the hospital, a daycare center, get this injection over a period of 30 minutes to 1 hour and observe for 1 hour. Usually allergic reactions are quite common. Okay, they can happen. Other than that, any serious reaction usually less likely. Allergic reactions, some people can have itching, some people can have some rashes, some people have a little bit of difficulty in breathing, wheezing, little bit of low blood pressure. All these things are the usual allergic reactions which might happen, and with all the proper medications they usually recover well. So once they take this injection in the hospital setting, they can easily go home. But after going home, do not ignore your primary COVID disease. That's because I have taken a very good injection and that is going to. But continue with all the COVID appropriate behavior, isolation and all other, and be in regular touch with your physician to monitor your COVID symptoms completely till you completely recover from this.
Okay. So the main question comes is, what is the cost of this therapy?
Yeah, it is pretty expensive actually. So it comes in a vial wherein the 2 vials will cost approximately 1,20,000 rupees.
Okay.
However, it can be used for 2 patients. Okay. So approximately the cost comes to some 59,000 to 60,000 per patient. Suppose if we fall in that 70% category of patients and it prevents the hospitalization, eventually the hospitalization, its associated cost definitely will come down. So in that way it is cost effective, but for our standards it is definitely expensive. Yeah. And whenever such an expensive medication comes into the market, and as we use it more and more frequently, as the volume of usage increases, usually the cost also comes down. And in a pandemic situation also, usually once it is in good use, there are so many agencies and some government schemes also, they will also try to reduce the price. But as of right now, while we speak, it is pretty expensive for a common man.
And is it being used with other countries, in other countries also?
Yes, it's almost for the last 10-11 months it is used in the United States. It is used in many European countries. It is used in Singapore, Dubai, many Middle East countries, and it's there with us also right now.
You have it in a hospital?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So, sir, about pregnant and lactating women, the question always arises that can it be given to them?
As of right now, one study is going on with respect to pregnant lady about using this antibody cocktail therapy. While we speak, there is no evidence, clear-cut evidence that it should be given or can be given safely in pregnant. But pregnancy is always a special condition. We need to individualize and personalize that particular patient. Weigh the risk and benefit ratio. And when the benefit outweighs the risk is very, very low, the benefit is huge, then you have to have a discussion with the family, and with an informed consent, then only it can be considered. But as of right now, there is no evidence that about the safety of this in pregnant ladies. However, that does not mean to say that every pregnant lady requires this. It's only for, as of right now, high risk category of people. So whenever a pregnancy is also a high risk category, then that has to be discussed with the family, then an informed consent, then it can be considered.
Okay. So, sir, is it a game changer?
Possibly yes, because it was very effective when it was used in the US, and because the third wave is going to probably hit us, something which is available, which is trying to abort a disease from mild to mild only, does not allow it to go to a severe disease, definitely it can be a game changer. Only thing is, the negative thing is it's a cost. It's a cost. So for a common man, it's really, really difficult to afford. 60,000 rupees per dose is really, not feasible for our common population. So that is a big negative. If you see the molecule as such, with the current evidence what we have, it can be a game changer. It can be a game changer. Yes.
So we have gotten a question from the audience that can it be given to infants who have not taken other standard vaccinations?
Antibody cocktail? No. As of right now, there is no evidence that it can be used below the 12 years of age. No.
Okay. So, sir, with this, we come to an end. I'm sure these questions and your answers have relieved a lot of parents, those who have questions. So, we just need, would you like to summarize both the topics?
Right. So, with respect to the vaccination, it's very important, and vaccination is the only thing which is going to protect your children from the COVID-19 disease. However, there is no need to panic. Okay. The third wave is not equivalent to only kids. It can be still unvaccinated adult population also. Regarding antibody cocktail, needs to be used only in people who do not require oxygen, who are not hospitalized. It is not for everybody. Only for high-risk people who are likely to develop a severe disease because of COVID, only in them it needs to be given. It needs to be given in a hospital setting, that's all. But the cost is a constant right now.
Thank you so much, sir, for being there with us.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
So as sir said, third wave is not only for children, so please do not panic. And we hope we have covered all the questions. Any other questions, please put in the comment section. Thank you so much.
Thank you.